So I'm watching all these commercials on TV talking about all these medicines and side effects, and then I see some more commercials for some of the law firms where you can sue these people that are giving you birth defects and stuff like that. And even though I do agree that it's the company's responsibility to pay for some of these birth defects, I also agree that it's the doctor's fault for prescribing a pregnant woman that medicine. When you're building a bridge, you got concrete, and you got steel, and you got dirt, and you got rock, and you got sand, right? So we get these things, and we put them together in such a fashion to create a good base, a good center core, and a good exterior. Now, when a person starts to create a human being inside their body, they're not using enough things to count on our hands. The chemicals and stuff that's used to make a person, and the minerals and the vitamins, I don't know how many. I'm sure you can research it, but I don't know how many, but it's a lot, I can guarantee you that. And it's definitely delicate. It's the most delicate thing, and we're told that forever. It's nature's most delicate thing. Well, like cigarettes, if you smoke a cigarette and you're pregnant, as you inhale this smoke, it goes into your lungs and it goes through your body, and then certain chemicals are shot. Now, the baby that you're creating is getting the same shot of chemicals. It's giving them the same addiction to the cigarettes. And they've shown this in candy too. If you're pregnant and you're eating candy, guess what? Your kid's going to love the flavor of candy because it needs that chemical code that it got while you're pregnant. If you want to create a good child in this world, you need to start in the beginning, like in conception. It's like, make sure your body as a temple is clean. Make sure you eat the way that you want your child to eat and grow up to eat. Be sure that as soon as they're in this world, that you act like you want your child to act, because they learn from us. Everything they get from us. You create a person from beginning to get-go all the way to the end. You need to make sure that you teach them correctly and you give them the appropriate things they need in life. So you got heartburn, or so you got migraines or dizzy spells or something. You don't be taking drugs. Sorry, you're dizzy, you're sick, you're vomiting. That's called pregnancy. You don't treat these symptoms, okay? And your prenatal vitamins, check this out, y'all. Look, they give you your prenatal vitamins. Now, how many of y'all women that are pregnant are eating them prenatal vitamins, and then as soon as you start eating food, you start throwing up? That is because you're overdosing on vitamins, minerals, nutrients. It's a balance, and you're constantly disrupting it, and that's the problem. After your baby's born, wash your hands all the time. All the time. All the time. I'm not saying don't be, I'm not saying be a germaphobe. I'm saying wash your hands, wash your face, because this is a new child, and you touch it and you hold it. Don't get their bare body and put it on the ground and let them crawl over there and get all this stuff in your carpet all inside the pores in their legs and their knees and elbows. It's just bad. It's driving me crazy seeing all these problems with these children nowadays, because what's happened is mommy and daddy are on Xanax and Darvocets any other Vicodin type of pill that you can think of, and they're getting it all on their fingers and they're popping in their mouth, right? And they ain't thinking no problem, say, doctor prescribe me the medicine, I can eat it, right? And even the dads too, right? That they don't care, but they don't wash their hands, right? So then they go like, oh, sweet baby, and they pick you up and they put that pill residue all over the child, and they kiss the child. Now, I'm about to hit a touchy subject, so if you have experienced SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, now would be the time to go ahead and shut down and move on, okay? Because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. This is a very touchy subject. So if this is something that has happened to you, my condolences. I am sad that this has happened. Okay, hopefully those that have experienced this has moved on. If you haven't, I do apologize for the words I'm about to say. I do not mean any offense, but this is knowledge. Okay. Sudden infant death syndrome is a generic label that the doctors and all that like to put on something that they don't feel like putting the time and effort into telling you the truth. Everything happens for a reason. It's cause and effect. Something that I found is that something that we used to call SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, whenever I was growing up, 80s, 90s, wasn't SIDS, and we know this now. And it's still a learning process. We're finding out more and more every day that this is what kills kids, and this is what kills them, and this is what kills them. And SIDS is just really a label that the doctors are putting on it because they don't feel like it's worth the effort to find out exactly how it did. And if they did put the effort in and they found out exactly, then they just didn't want to tell you that, hey, guess what? You killed your kid because you held the pills and then picked them up and they got a pill overdose because of the residue. They can find out that it's the small residue that made the child pass on, and that would be too touchy to tell you, because it's not really your fault. Technically it's their fault because that's your doctor and they should have warned you about these things. It's like, what do you do for a living? I do construction. Not once did my doctor start saying, oh, well, you do construction, well, gotta watch out for the concrete, gotta watch out for the type of sand that you're at. If you do landscaping, which I know you do, then you can't be touching tulips, you can't be touching junipers, and you can't be picking roses and then picking up your child, because all of these things will kill a child, and they will. Peanut butter, honey, all these things can kill a baby. They don't tell you these things, but I'm telling you straight up. When you build a child inside your body, you need to be sure to give it the right stuff. If you add it in all these man-made medicines and whatever, you're going to be making an addict on whatever it is that you're eating. They are what you eat. It's as easy as that. And I'm sorry if I offended anybody. I don't mean that. It's touchy, but it's important. You got to take care of your body in order to take care of your kids. Don't take medicines. Don't take no prescriptions whatsoever. I'm not saying don't take your prenatal vitamins. If you don't eat, then yeah, you need some of them nutrients. But if they're making you throw up or something, maybe break them down in half. You don't need all of something. They prescribe you medicine. Try it for yourself, because everybody's body's different. Break it down first. And don't take the full amount they told you. Up it yourself until you feel the effects have worked. You don't need to just jump right on into a regimen of one every 4 hours as needed because the bottle said so. If you're pregnant or nursing or plan on becoming pregnant, and that's another thing, I know the time's getting long. I hate it that people drop out so fast, but this is also important. Is all these things say if you plan on becoming pregnant. Ever, okay? That's what they're not putting at the end of that, and they should. If you ever plan on becoming pregnant, do not take these medicines because they will harm your body and they will harm your child and the growth of your child. So don't do any drugs. Watch what you eat, watch what you intake. Don't be putting Splenda and a bunch of caffeine and everything into your body, unless of course you want to create a child that's all geeked up and wants this stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you drink coffee, your child's going to be wanting coffee. You're not going to give them coffee because they're a baby, right? And then they're going to be shaking, screaming, crying at night. You're not going to know why, right? So, cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect. You got to have the right materials to build the right structure. If you want to build the right bridge, you have to have the right cement. You have to have the right rock. You have to have the right sand. You have to have the right dirt. You have to have the right asphalt. You have to have the right steel. And the steel itself has to be made correctly. You got to take care of your body and do your research. I mean, the warnings are out there. I don't think that people should be allowed to sue these pharmaceutical companies because I don't think these pharmaceutical companies should be allowed to exist. Side effects may include. No, not safe for public. It shouldn't be there. Done deal. But everybody, y'all can thank PETA for that because since they quit testing on animals, now they have to test on the population. So that right there is a cause and effect to society. Y'all have a great one.